second part of the Magento LiveArt HTML5 integration demo. We left on the fonts, and we will continue from here. So we were talking about how the system name is important for converting design into the PDF. You can also upload individual styles for normal, bold, italic, and bold italic. We recommend uploading only the files you have. So if you have just normal, then you can upload just normal. The recommended file format is WOFF, WOFF, and you can skip uploading anything else and indicating that. You can set bold allowed to no if you don't have the mentioned fonts. And now there are special additional fields which I would like to tell you about. Is the accent, which basically is default height in pixels for the text which is typed in the Photoshop. Normally, depending on the font, it's equal to 22 to 28 pixels, and you can also skip or just use the default value. This value is important for calculating the exact height of the text, especially for signs. And the vector file is a CUFON generated vector file, the JavaScript, which is required to produce vector effects such as arc. If you would like to, if you don't like to guess what the system name for conversion, there is also a list of these currently system fonts installed on the system, and you can scroll down or search on the page. So in this case, let us try to type Ubuntu, and we would see, okay, that it's installed and has the same family name as Ubuntu. So we can double check that. Okay, that's basically for the font itself. If you have set up everything properly, then you should be able to check that in LiveArt, and every font will appear in its own unique look. So that's all for the font. We close this as well. The colors are pretty much basic. You set up the name and you set up the hex value for that. You can also adjust the position if necessary. So mind please that hex value is always typed with the hash sign, which is required, and based on that you would see also the color appear here in the swatch. Now we would go back to the most complex part, which is managing the LiveArt products. So we go into catalog and manage products over here, and there are lots of the sample products which your installation can start with, and we actually recommend duplicating the products if you would like to start setting up your ones, especially for special products such as standard sign, for example. So we start with the basic promotional or apparel product. So we can start with the uniform, for example. Let's go and edit it. It starts with the default properties for the Magento, and LiveArt properties are over here where designer is. So we click over designer. You can disable it for the product if necessary, if you would like to sell it as non-customizable product, but in general you might want to leave it. We have set up it, and we will now go over the fields, and I will describe what every field stands for. So I would like to remind that we are in a simple apparel product. So you can upload the basic properties like thumbnail image, of course. Then there is a number of properties that relate what type of the product is it. If it's sign and can be resizable, we would set this to yes. If the ruler is required, you can set this to yes. If you'd like to hide editable border, which is this rectangle over here, I have it not hide for the mug, for instance, but we can go back and select actually our apparel. Okay, it's not that. So let's go back and select this uniform we have. So you might see that there is an editable border. It would also define where your design go and where it will be cropped. So we leave this enabled. And hide editable area border is set to no. Okay, and names enabled. Yes, this means enabling the names and numbers so that you will be able to add name and number over to the field and add, of course, the records for it. Now, the next section is colors. The colors are used for the products where each combination of the location and color is unique, and you have to upload the individual file for that. So you can go ahead and add as many rows as you would like, and then you have to upload like front black, okay, then front gray, and so on and so on. And this will load specific image for this combination in LiveArt. The next are sizes, which are basically for apparel is S, M, L, XL, and the size value is a price markup that will be added. So the larger the shirt, the more it will cost. The printable areas is the most important part here, and we will go over this in details. The main image is uploaded here and near the image field, and if you'd like to have mask for the mask for the product, or if you would like the product to appear as mask, then you upload mask here. The mask products are where your design appears behind the product. An example here is the phone. So we will type phone, and here we have an iPhone, and you might see that this image acts as a mask, and a regular mask, because the design appears behind it. So in this case, you would need to upload this image as mask. The editable area stands for the rectangle where your design will appear. So if we go back to any of the apparel products like this, it has a strict rectangle area where your design will be contained. This defines by the pixel coordinates from the top left X, top left Y, and then width and height of the area. You can also visually define it by using change editable area over here. You have to click, and then you can move this rectangle. If you once you save it or click apply, you would see that these coordinates would reapply, and then you can save and continue edit in order to save these properties. Print area width and height are mostly required for the products where this is a sensitive information, and respective DPI constraints have to be maintained. So for example, if this an A4, then you can type respective inch values here, or you can just put the centimeters if your DPI setting is dot per centimeter as well. So you can type any numeric values here. The editable area range is mostly used for the custom arbitrary resizable products, and of course it's not applicable to apparel, so we skip that altogether. The colorizable elements work in the same way as for the gallery. So on this uniform we have the stripes, which are colorizable by user, and user can go ahead here and change specific colors. So all of the above is set up in admin area. So if we go back to the panel, we would see that there is color 1, color 2, color 3, and you can of course rename that to sleeves or body or color. And also they have respective identifier from the SVG file. You can also limit the colors that can be selected for specific colorizable element. So we have no limitation here, which means I can select anything from the global list. We go back down to the last attribute, which is editable area sizes, and it mostly concerns the products like signs, which we briefly look over next, and you can define the strict sizes below. So you type in the label, let's say 6 to 2 inches, and then you type 6 and 2. And this would mean that it will be the only selectable option for this type of product. So that's all for the apparel. And we would go to the more interesting type of products, like sign. So we go to the standard sign first and head over to the designer again. We would see a thumbnail. Okay, this is a sign. The sign products are very specific to LiveArt. They don't use colors, they don't use sizes, because it's managed differently. For the print area, you normally upload one of our standard templates for signs. We can also select it here as well. So it will be standard sign. Okay, we remove everything from here. You might see that it's an arbitrary sign which you can update. So if you change something, you would see that it changes as well. And so we go back into setup and would see that okay, it has a standard sign SVG template uploaded. It doesn't require any mask. And for the default print area width and height, you just skip editable area altogether values. They can be just 0 or empty. And you just type in the print area width or height. So we have it in inches in this current default setup. So we have inches here, and inside admin area, you type inches here as well. If you need this to go into a certain range where a user, for instance, cannot design anything below, and this is dictated by your production means. This means user cannot type anything like 9, and it will tell that, okay, minimal width is 10. And also, okay, change editable area is not applied here as well, because all you need is basically editable area range. This is the most, this field and the above print area width and height are the most important fields for sign products. The colorizable element is single for this template. It's background color or simply color, and mostly the identifier for it is .bg.fill. And the editable areas are not applicable here as well, because it's fully arbitrary and can be of any size within the limits. Now, if we go to some other products, let's go to the signs and decals, and okay, here's we have a bumper sticker, which are different, and they are 3 to 10 inches or 4 to 4 inches. That's where the editable area sizes are applicable. You would see that there are 2 options, and if we go 187, product 187, I just type it in quickly here, and okay, it's marked, it's not that. Okay, let's see it once again. So we go to the products, and let's quickly see how this, okay, it's bumper sticker, so we type bumper, and we go inside bumper sticker, head over to the designer. Yeah, that's it. And we go to the very bottom. You would see that there is no definitions here, because it uses completely different options. And you would see that here's the editable area size is defined. 2 options, you can add more if necessary, but you can skip everything else, because it's used in a different, this kind of product used in a different mode. You can also see that it's resizable. The ruler is optional. You can turn it on or off, and normally also editable area border and names are not applicable here, so they are turned off. That's basically for a sign type of products. And again, we've covered the promotional and apparel type of products, and the sign products, how they can be set up in the Magento. And you're welcome to click over our product designer demo.pixel.com and request credentials to access admin area here, and try it yourself, duplicate a product, use different options, play with it around, and then ask any questions you might have about it.